Hey, Blue Team. Welcome to day two. Day two in so many ways, right? Day two for our revisions and day two of our remote learning. Hope that's going well for you. I know some of you seemed very overloaded yesterday. You seemed like you were really trying to get your work done and you were having trouble completing everything. I hope today's a little better. If it's not better, please let me know so I can help you. We could work things out because we'll be doing this for just a little bit more. So I want to make sure you're all good and safe. Now, let's talk about the three things I want you to focus on today. First thing is that good writers say more than said. Said is a word, yes, it makes sense, but it tends to get overused way too much. And when you overuse it, it starts to get nagging. It starts to get annoying when you're reading it. You one thing you don't want to ever do is put your reader off, right? You want to invite the reader in. You want to make it fun and exciting. The other thing about the word said is that it usually doesn't even describe what you're trying to say. Whispered, cried, yelled, asked, demanded. Those are all probably better words that you could use to really get across what your character is thinking or feeling. I am attaching a link for you in Google Classroom where you could look at many great words. Okay, so you do that. 2, there's this word here, right? Very fancy word, probably a word you would see in Jeopardy. Anachronistic. Anachronistic, basically, as you can see here, belonging to a period other than that being portrayed. What does that mean? This is what it means. I'm watching a movie set in the 1950s, and then all of a sudden in the background, I see someone walking down the street with a Starbucks, or I see a Tesla drive by, right? If any of you watch Game of Thrones, hopefully not, because that is quite inappropriate. But if you did notice during the last season, people found in one of the scenes there was a Starbucks coffee cup on the table. And this is something that's supposed to be set in a totally different place, a totally different time period. Definitely was not, there weren't any Starbucks and macchiatos. No, no. So as you look through your story today, pay close attention to that. Make sure you don't have anything that seems weird or out of place. If I'm writing about World War II and Americans fighting in the war in Japan, I need to make sure that I have things straight. That I'm not talking about maybe World War One, or I'm not mentioning things that have happened now. Like I'm not talking about Obama being president. I'm not talking about cell phones, or not. I'm not having my characters talk about the latest TikTok dance craze. Renegade, right? Yeah, I see you, Ariel. I see you doing that little arm thing. Yep, yep, I know you're doing it. So, 3, you want to be sure that you have plenty of references to your time period and or subject. Very important here. Why is it important? Well, let me tell you something here. First reason, your grade. When you give me your final story, that's one of the criteria that I'm looking for. I'm looking to see that you have references to the time period, to your subject, to the different characters in your book. I'm looking for those things specifically because you know what it shows me? It shows me that you read the book, that you understand it, and that you're able to kind of synthesize and take it from one form to another. You're doing something really tough and difficult, right? You're transforming your information, what you learned, and you're putting it in a brand new form, which is the highest level of learning. So that's great, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see that you could do that. And secondly, and this is a big deal, it's going to make your story better. It's going to make it more believable. It's going to help the reader to kind of get into it more, understand your characters or understand the setting. So the more references and the more you can show what you learned from your book or from the time period, the better it's going to be. So that's it for today. What I'd like you to do now, go into your story, look for these 3 things, and make it better. When you're done with everything, make sure that you have it up and ready to go so I can look at more stories. Again, I hope to get 18 or so stories from all my classes, maybe more. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Just leave a comment here. Any thoughts, questions, especially let me know or if you're having any trouble, if things are really difficult for you. Help me so I could work with you, so we could figure things out together. All right, signing off.